Hi, I'm Roger Himes, the Gospel Coach, with some gospel music and musings, songs of worship and words of hope. Today's message is about the seed, the root, and the fruit. Open our eyes, Lord. We want to see Jesus, to reach out and touch Him and say that we love Him. Open our ears, Lord, and help us to listen. Open our eyes, Lord, and help us see Jesus. You know, Jesus says that His way is easy. The gospel is easy. There was a problem with the Old Testament. It was so hard to live that no one could live it. Everybody failed. No one succeeded. Romans 3:10 says this, and so does Acts 15:10. But you know there's a problem with the New Testament gospel too. And that's the fact that it's so good that even very few Christians can believe it. The old was all based on the works and performance of man. And then when that failed, it was based on sacrifices and offerings. It was based on us giving to God. But the new is based on us receiving from God, not giving to God. I call this the principle of the seed, the root, and the fruit. I did a lot of Christian counseling, and this was all about dealing with sin in our lives. You know, bad fruit, bad actions, bad attitudes, bad stuff. But this bad fruit that could be seen in lives, I discovered one thing about it. It was controlled by the seed that was coming into somebody's life, by what they were allowing in. 99% of the time, they were being influenced by bad, negative things coming into their lives, which produced bad, negative things out of their lives. Now, only changing their behavior didn't get the job done, because they just keep developing other bad behavior. But if I could change what influenced them, what I call the seed, then they would live better lives. Now, you know, we see this in the parable of the sower that Jesus told about in Matthew 13, Mark 4, and Luke 8. This is why I speak and work so hard trying to plant good gospel seed into people's lives. If you plant good stuff into people, then good stuff's going to come out of them. Jesus tells us this too. We're going to have good behavior, good works, and good performance. But if all you work on is the good behavior, it's a very weary ending, a never-ending process. Now, Paul tells us in Colossians 1, 5, and 6 that it's gospel truth that produces good fruit from us. The gospel is the seed of God that He wants to plant into us if we will let Him. But we have to let Him. Now, if we do, we have better lives by default, just automatically. There's a truth that good behavior will never produce good gospel belief, but correct gospel belief will eventually produce good behavior. Jesus tells us in Mark 4, verse 13, that we must understand this parable of the sower. If we don't understand it, we'll understand little else. I want you to pause and think about your life for a minute. What are you allowing into your life? What influences you? Are you allowing good gospel seed into your life? Or are you allowing something else to come into your life? Jesus tells us, take heed what you listen to. Now we're going to talk about this more next time and see how this works more specifically. Open my eyes, Lord. I want to see Jesus, to reach out and touch Him and say that I love Him. Open my ears, Lord, Lord, cause me to listen. Open my eyes, Lord, and help me see Jesus. I'm Roger Himes, the Gospel Coach, and I want to thank you a lot for listening.